Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new readings, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before I begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. I will not be soliciting you for anything. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. One bonus card. Let's see what the chakra energy will be for this time. How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And then finally, the spirit guide message. How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Wonderful. Okay. So the left-hand side is going to be the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And of course, our bonus card. This is all we're going to see how all of this, the moon, the spirit guide animals, the chakra, the spirit message, all correlates to the tarot and how they play off each other. So let's see what they have to say. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, time frame May 21st to June 20th. We We have the Knight of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, amplifying this Gemini energy, but also amplifying the Libra full moon on the 28th of March. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Wands. The repeat of the number 3 means divinity is with us. The Five of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. The Eight of Swords, the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, amplifying the new moon in Aries, but also the fact that our sun right now in the zodiac is in Aries. So that's going to be coming through rather powerfully. And it's very interesting because Libra and Aries are polarizing signs. Okay, they don't kind of play together really well, but in mythology, Aries and Aphrodite, which is Venus in Greek mythology, they were lovers. So there's the sense of them being so different. Aries is about the self, Libra is, and which is ruled by Venus, is about others. But yet we have this powerful connection coming forward. So there's this intricacy to this time that is really quite beautiful. And then we have the Two of Cups, and we have the Emperor amplifying this Aries energy, especially in the public arena. And we have the Moon, so overseeing all of this is us, Pisces, in the major arcana, where the very essence of ourselves is represented by the Moon. Pisces is represented by the Moon. In the major arcana, by the Cups, where we have the King of Cups within our hearts, right here in the minor arcana. So this is astoundingly powerful energy coming forward. We're ruled by our hearts. Our hearts and our mind are really coming together at this time. We're facing conflicts, but also passions are coming forward. And we're looking at things very differently than the way that we had seen them before. Things become clearer. They also become more real in a very interesting way. It's kind of like we're decluttering our space, ourselves, what we want. We're making things really focused, really kind of centered. Now, we start off here with the full moon in Libra. Now, the full moon always tells us to surrender to the divine because that is where our power lies. To say, all right, I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to have all the answers, but I get to surrender the power to more and to embrace more than what I have ever realized before. And during the time of this moon, we're going to see our Venus, Sun, and Chiron are all aligned in Aries. So this is a time where Chiron, our wounded warrior, starts to bring up wounds from the past. And they're highlighted by the Sun. The Sun is very much telling us to take action. Aries is like, take action, go, do, conquer, be that warrior. And it's calmed and kind of tempered by Venus, which is saying, what do I love? What do I need? What do I long for? Now, the full moon in Libra is a win-win outcome is forecast because we're having the pain, the hurt, the disappointment come forward. Now, our Mercury and Neptune are in Pisces during this time. So Mercury and Neptune are in Pisces, and this is telling us to get out of our own heads and start to forgive, not only others, but also ourselves. And it's also looking at our ancestral line, and it's forgiving and understanding and kind of gaining knowledge. We'll actually see things come our way that makes our life make more sense. It's like, oh my gosh, that's why that person could never love me. We might kind of find out that they're a narcissist or a psychopath or, things that sound really scary, but really can explain a lot of people. And so here it's like, oh my gosh, the door opens. And now I'm starting to realize things more and more and more. And during this moon, we have the moon making a perfect triangle with Saturn and Mars. And this is called the Grand Trine. And what this brings us is protection, harmony, and ease. Because Mars and Saturn are intense planets, what this also gives us is determination, motivation, and staying power, which is really, really good, especially for water sign and air sign energies. We tend to be a little bit more kind of mercurial in our nature. So it gives us more staying power, more kind of focus. So we're going to be honing that focus and really embracing our passions during this time, especially in the public arena. We're going to see ourselves making a really big shift to what we are passionate about, what we love, what we want, what we're really looking for. Now, during this time, the signs of Aries, Cancer, and Libra, along with Capricorn. Okay, so Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are all going to be the most affected by this moon because of its alignment. Now, where we have these in our charts, our personality, where this rules our personality traits, this is going to be coming out more. So our personalities are going to be a little bit more intense where our natal charts align with these signs. Okay, but a win-win outcome is forecast. Things start to become more balanced, more kind of prosperous. We start to see things because we do have that pushy energy of Aries and Libra coming together, and they fight with each other. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be giving everything to everybody else, and Aries is saying, what the heck, are you silly? Like, you're never going to win anything if that's what you do. And so here we start to find ourselves coming into balance with who we are and what we want, because we have this internal push and pull and kind of looking at things in such a different way. And because Libra is ruled by Venus, this aligns us to want to resolve conflicts. And because Aries is giving us the courage to say, stand up for yourself, claim your voice. Don't let people walk all over you. There is a way here that we resolve this conflict with greater balance and greater ease of self. And we don't, because we have to be mindful during this time not to sacrifice ourselves for everybody else. So the Aries is really, really balancing this and saying, don't you dare sacrifice yourself for everybody else's happiness and well-being. Because during this time, we're not even sure that if we sacrificed ourselves, if we said, okay, I will carry all these burdens, if that would change the game, if that would make us, if that would make everybody happier, if that would make everything better. And most likely during this time, it won't, because everybody is having this conflict with Libra and Aries coming together, and it's needing to take care of others, but it's also needing to take care of ourselves and finding the way to balance this within our lives. This leads us to the new moon in Aries. Again, amplifying that Aries energy, which we see shining through, giving us gifts during this time, especially within our hearts in the public arena. This is where we find new beginnings coming. And it says a new start is coming, beginning, walking through one portal to another. We're making a huge shift within our life, within what we want. And this brings us to, it's a time to take action. Now, the new moon is on the 12th of April. And this is going to be a time, and leading up to this new moon, it's going to be a time where we want to take action, where we want to go after things. It's very much taking the bull, but of course, in this case, it's the ram, by the horns and saying, this is what I want, looking it dead in the eye, and being like, this is what I'm going after. I'm changing things. And what's so cool about this time is that when we say, I'm changing things, we mean it and we do it. And we change things in a powerful, intense, beautiful way. And it really does start to open up things to us that we hadn't expected. But this is a time where we have the healing coming in. We have the power, we have the purposeful understanding coming forward, the sense of love that guides us. And then we have, with Aries, we have this intense determination, and Aries always shoots forward. So even if Pisces, you're born on the cusp with Aries, this Aries is going to come out very, very powerfully during this time. It's going to shoot us forward in the sense of focus, build, become, go after it, be that warrior that we long to be. We long to be the heroes of our stories, and yet we also long to be rescued. So Libra kind of wants to be rescued, right? It's very focused on love and the romantic kind of fairy tale of it all, and loves that beautiful understanding of everything. If we have friends in Libra, they're hopeless romantics, and it's wonderful to watch, but sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, stop, like, get out of the fairy tale. And so here we're going to find ourselves looking at that fairy tale and really wanting to be a part of it, but also saying, but I have to be the conqueror. I have to be the warrior that kind of is the hero of their own story. So we have that, again, we have that conflict coming forward, and it leads us to the full moon in Scorpio, which says it's time to release negativity. And that is what this time is all about, claiming our power with the new moon, having the negativity, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment come up in Libra, and Libra being that nurturing, caring, lovely energy that says, I can handle this. I can heal this. I can help this move forward. And then Scorpio is like, don't you dare. Don't you dare let that poison stay in your heart, stay in your soul. We're purging it. We're moving forward. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. Keep going. And that's what we're being prepared for. So it's going to be really, really nice when we hit the full moon in Scorpio, to be able to say, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the purge. I'm ready for the detox of the negativity that has been around me. And that leads us to the spirit animals. And our spirit animals for this time, for March, even though we're in March only for a little bit, are the whale spirit and the wolf spirit. Now the whale spirit says, trust in the great mysteries, trust the great mysteries. And the wolf spirit says, turn knowledge into wisdom. And that's what we're doing during this time. We're being told to kind of release, to let go. We're not going to have all the answers. Trust in the great mysteries. Trust that we're not supposed to know everything. The whale is also symbolic of the record keeper of the earth. So there is great knowledge, there's great understanding held within the imagery of the whale, held within the knowledge of the whale. And this is telling us to listen to our inner self, but also listen to our energy vibration. Think of our energy vibration like the whale song that fills our world, that we can become in tune with, that we can understand. And this connects us to the power of our emotions and what we desire. The wolf spirit here, where we turn knowledge into wisdom, well, that's what life is all about. That's what growing up and maturing is all about, to turn the knowledge that we have into the wisdom that we live by. And it's so sad that our world honors, youth and kind of silliness so profoundly. So here, it's like we get better with age. It's kind of like a whiskey. A whiskey gets better with age. Things get better with age. And we're going to find here that we start looking at ourselves. And instead of being like, wow, I wish I was 20 again, we start saying, or 18 or whatever, we start saying, I value who I am. I see the power of who I am. And dare I say, I even love who I am. Now that I'm finding my voice and living by that wisdom, the wolf tells us to embrace our sharp intellect, to deepen our connections with others, but also with ourselves and with divinity. It focuses on freedom here, but also on having strong instincts and following those instincts and letting us guide our hearts. And there's a need here to connect with our space within the world and to claim our space within the world. Now, we might look at our space and be like, wow, I don't like this. I don't want to stay here. And that's fair. But we need to connect with it and then say, it's wrong for me. It's not matching my energy. It's not matching myself at all. And then we need to figure out how to change it. The wolf spirit also tells us if we are, learning how to love where we are and what we desire, we're learning more about ourselves than we had realized. And so that's going to be really powerful. And that knowledge continues into April, because April is ruled by the hawk spirit and once again the wolf spirit. And the hawk spirit says here, let spirit be your guide. So the hawk spirit is symbolic of the messenger of the spirit world. And it gives us powerful focus on what we want, on spirit's message, on what we desire. It gives us clear vision and increases our spiritual awakening as we become more than what we had originally thought we could be. What we don't realize as human beings is that we undersell ourselves. Some people don't. Some people are all into the grandiosity. But if you are an empathic person, if you are on a spiritual journey, and if you've stumbled across this channel, that's where you tend to be. We undersell ourselves. We think, oh my gosh, I'm not there yet. I'm not enlightened. I'm not, fully aligned. I have issues, right? Or I have problems and things aren't perfect. But what we have to know is that working through this, seeing this, understanding it is so powerful and so much more than what the average person is doing. The average person is just going with the flow, living on the very surface. We're diving deeper. And that is extraordinary. And that is a fantastic place to be. It leads us to our chakra message, there we go, which is the heart chakra, and it's the inner child. It's connecting with our inner child. We're also doing a lot of healing with our inner child, because we're going to be seeing that a lot of hurts, the pains, the disappointments that we have stem from childhood. Yes, children are astoundingly resilient, but also a lot of our coping mechanisms, there we go, a lot of the hurt that we carry into adulthood and the way that we deal with things all stems from childhood. So one of the exercises that I love to do whenever I get the inner child coming forward is I love to envision myself just kneeling down, holding my arms open, and letting the girl that I once was run into my arms and holding onto her and saying, I love you, I care for you, am here for you. And I will always be here for you. I have to tell you, when I first started doing that, it was intensely emotional. And so I recommend it to every single one of you. Visualize you kneeling down, sitting down, whatever is comfortable for you, with your arms open, and the child that you once were, running into your arms and being protected by the adult that you are, by the person who listens, who connects, who understands. Because who understands you better than you? It leads us to our spirit guide message. And that's balance, which is what this time is all about. Even with the moon and the sun, the sun in Aries, the moon in Libra, it's telling us to balance this energy, to balance these lovers, to balance the beauty that is a part of us. And we're going to find that we're balancing. We're balancing what we want with what we want to give to everybody else. And so that balance calls us forward. Now, we are crowned here with the 9 of Wands. And this becomes a bit of a challenge with our inner self because we're listening to everybody. And we kind of want to be that peacekeeper. The Libra energy shines really big here. And it's kind of like, I want to be like peacekeeper. I want to be the person who listens to everybody, who understands everything. But if we remember the Rider-Waite-Smith card, it is the person with the bandage around their head, leaning on a staff. It's just like, I can't. We can't listen to everyone. We can't take everybody's knowledge and make it our truth, because it's not. We have to find what's right for us. Our truth is not, ignoring logic. What it is it's saying, well, this is my personality, and this is what's right for me. I either like living in the city or I like living in the country, or the suburbs. I like being outdoors. I like being inside. It's these things. I love gardening. I love, hiking, these type of things that start to define us. And we start to say, well, this is my personality. This is what makes me feel alive. This is what makes me feel centered within myself. And the 9 of Wands is looking at what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing. And it's like, okay, I see it and I understand it, but I can't be ruled by it. And I have to sever. We might be severing some ties, but we also are going to be looking at things more openly and honestly and saying, well, what's right for me? What is it that I'm seeing? What is the insight here? What is the knowledge here? What is it that I'm gaining? And how is it that I can live my life without being ruled by everybody else? And so we start making really clear boundaries and barriers and saying, okay, everybody can have their opinions, what they desire, but I get to walk in what's right for me. And I get to embrace me without apologizing, without being embarrassed, without thinking, oh my gosh, this is so silly. No, I get to stand in my power and say, I've been through the battle. It's been a long, hard road, and I've tried pleasing everyone, and it doesn't work. It's like that old song where you can't please everyone, so you have to please yourself. And it leads us then to the lovers. It leads us to looking at what gives us joy and love within our life. But it also leads us to really the Taoist statement that this and that are true, because they are. Today, especially in our world, we like everybody to kind of fit into a box, which is odd because everybody's fighting against boxes. But we want definitions. We want to say, you can think this way or you can think that way, but it has to be clear and I have to understand it. But we don't. This and that is true. A person can be looking at the same scene, but from different angles, and see something completely different, have more of the story or less of the story than the other person. It's like that old, it's that old story of the 3 blind men who go up to see an elephant. And they all feel the elephant, like different parts of the elephant. And they say, oh, one feels his ear and describes it as being very much, like an elephant's ear. The other feels its trunk and describes the elephant as being kind of like a serpent, very much like the trunk. And the other feels the foot and says, what are you kidding me? It's huge and it's round and it's, smooth and wrinkly. So it depends on what we're seeing, what we're feeling, how we're connecting with things, what we bring forward, or what we take from situations. And that's what we're understanding here. And it's also helping us fall in love with our lives, saying it doesn't have to be A or B. It can be a myriad of things. But I have to look at what is right for me, of what makes me love my life, what makes me move forward, what gives me joy, prosperity, success, bounty, greater understanding. And we start to embrace that energy of love, of falling back in love with our lives, because we look at the world and we say, yeah, you're coming at me hard. I get it. Everybody's ideas are coming forward, but we don't get to be controlled by that anymore. And that's why the Libra full moon is going to be very intense for us, because it's very much a giving moon. And so here, it's like we want to give to everybody, but we have to remember that there can be duality within the world. There can be, more than duality, more than two things. It could be like an infinite number of possibilities and ways forward, but we have to stick to the vibrational energy, to the chord that rings true for us. And it leads us then to the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is the defender of the voice. Okay, it is a defender of our knowledge, of our nobility as individuals. It is a defender of what we need to know in order to be moving forward. I also always see the Knight of Swords as very much, Prince Charming in Sleeping Beauty, where he comes in the Disney Sleeping Beauty, where he comes in, slays the dragon, cuts through the brambles, awakens the princess in the tower. And what's beautiful here is that that's what's going to be happening. We're slaying the dragon. We're slaying the monster that hoards away and guards our greatest treasures and says, you can't touch this. This is too valuable to me, to like this chaotic darkness. And so we slay that monster and we cut through the brambles. We cut through the thorns of the world that poison us. And we start to embrace the beauty that happens when we cut through the poison. We ascend. We become more. We see more. We have a higher vantage point because we've raised our energy vibration. And we awaken the princess. We awaken the part of our consciousness that either felt too vulnerable, so it had to be hidden away. That part of us either had to be hidden away, or we hid ourselves away because we had that vulnerability. It's kind of like the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine coming forward. You can argue that maybe one wasn't hidden and the other was, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are awakening a power within us that was once astoundingly vulnerable, or that made us feel more vulnerable than we wanted to. And so there becomes a powerful understanding, a powerful purpose, a powerful knowledge here that opens up the doors, that leads us forward, that brings us to the Three of Pentacles, that brings us to a place of working with others to gain prosperity. And that's why we can be so kind of swayed by others during this time, because we're having this collaboration. But it's also saying, this is what I've worked for. Yes, I've worked with others. Yes, other people have helped me along the way, but they don't get to take credit for everything that I have done, for everything that I have worked so hard creating and building and discovering and understanding. This gets to crown me. And this also gets to illuminate the way I see the world through my hard work, through my creativity, through my connectivity with what I want and where I'm headed, and the seeds that I have planted within my life. It leads us then to the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is this sense here of new beginnings. The Three of Wands is a new dawn is coming. It's emotionally saying, I'm ready. Because we're embracing this bravery that comes through so powerfully, especially in the public arena. It's like, I'm ready to set sail. I'm ready to go after. I'm ready to look at what I want and what I need from life. And I'm also ready to call in my blessings. I'm ready to see that. I'm not hiding away and I'm not putting things on the shelf for a rainy day. I'm letting myself be more than what I had originally thought I could be. I'm letting myself, embrace my power, my understanding, my brilliance. And it sounds egotistical, but it's not. It's like I can't hide. That's very much what the Knight of Swords says. I cannot hide anymore. I have to go after what I want. And everything that is trying to pull me back, everything that's trying to hide away my blessings, I will not accept. And it brings us then to the Five of Wands. It brings us to chaos. Now, this is chaos sometimes just simply for the sake of chaos. These are people arguing and us thinking, oh my gosh, I have to heal all of that. We can't. Sometimes we stop the arguing because we're like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to get out of hand. But it's letting people and individuals be themselves. It's looking at things and it is saying, I get to embrace what I want. And it's looking at all the chaos inside that says, oh no, you can't. Remember when you failed? Remember when things fell apart? Remember when we just couldn't do it? Yeah, okay. So I wasn't ready then. I am ready now. There's a new dawn. There's a new horizon that's crowning our hearts, that's pulling us forward, that's having us see things so differently, so powerfully, so uniquely and beautifully. And it leads us then. So do be prepared for conflict to come and emotionally kind of assault you. It's like, oh my goodness, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm not doing the right thing. And that's what it's going to want to do. It's going to want to lessen you so that you don't embrace what you love and you don't take this gift of passion and creativity and don't light your world with fire and truth and brilliance, just absolute brilliance. It's like a torch in the darkness. The Ace of Wands is the torch in the darkness. It's God's source spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of passion, of creativity, of insights, of ideas, of saying, well, why not? Instead of, oh, I can't. It's like, why not go forward this way? Why not go after this? Why not look at things differently and powerfully and beautifully? And it brings us then to us becoming the king of who we are. The King of Cups is like my favorite king. He understands that he can only rule himself. And so that is the only person he tries to rule. He has a kingdom, yes, because that's what kings do. But he may very well just have a kingdom of one. Therefore, meaning that every single one of us is the King of Cups. And once we learn that emotionally, spiritually, truthfully, we can only rule ourselves. We're only ever truly responsible. I mean, yes, when you have kids, you're responsible for them. But you can't make them do what they do not want to do. You just can't. I see this time and time again with my nephew. One day, I was feeding him peas because he liked peas. And this was, of course, baby food peas. And then he decided he didn't like it. So he decided he was going to throw up. And it wasn't like, and he made himself throw up. He like pushed back his tongue. And I was like, no. It was terrible. But you can't make anybody do what they do not want to do, even at that little an age. And so here, with the King of Cups, it's this sense of, I know what I can do. I know how I can move myself forward. I know what it is that I desire and I want, I need. And I can lead by example. And yes, I will not be pushed around, because though I don't think that I'm better than anybody else, I do not think that anybody else is better than me. And that is an astounding way to live our lives. That is an astounding declaration to exclaim. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that, because we have people in our lives that will be more than willing to point out our shortfallings, to, sit there and tell us how great they are and how not great we are, and to do all of that. And you know what? That's them. That's who they get to be. If they have to convince everybody that they're so great, they really can't always believe it. Or they have something wrong with them. And that's sad. The King of Cups is telling us, I rule my life, and that's it. And I'm going to do it well, so that when people look at me, they see the royalty, they see the majesty, and either they rise up or they walk away. It leads us to the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, crowning the public arena, is feeling doubt and trapped and, overthinking, overanalyzing, being way too much in our own heads, which is what this moon gives us during this time, right? It is that swords energy, it's that air energy. And we're going to think, oh my gosh, I just can't. We need to focus again on the counteracting energy of the Lovers and also the Knight. It's like, but I can. I don't get to be trapped anymore. I don't get to sacrifice myself for everybody else time and time again. I'm done. And it's not even, for some of us, it's not even sacrificing ourselves for everybody else. It's putting our dreams on the back burner because it's scary. If we take our dreams out of the closet and we say, this is what I really wish for, this is what I really want within my life, this is what I long for, and this is where my heart belongs. How terrifying is that? There is this failure, this fear of failure, and everybody can understand that. But there's also a fear of success. And people argue and say, well, no, there isn't. Yes, there is. if I live my dream, if I capture a star in a mason jar and let it shine within my life, what happens if people expect me to do it again and again and again? The Eight of Swords is overthinking. The Eight of Swords is saying it either has to be grand or it has to be nothing. Let life be what it is. It has its peaks and it has its valleys and it has, its pits. That's just what life is about. The Eight of Swords can steal our lives, and it does steal lives, because it puts us way too much in our own heads. It gives us crippling anxiety, doubt, fear, and makes us think we can't. This is a healing moon. It's time to heal this part of ourselves, especially in the public arena, because once we face what is caging us, the Queen of Wands is like on fire. Absolutely. There is passion, there's creativity. The Queen of Wands is not afraid of rolling up her sleeves. She doesn't need everybody to be looking at her and exclaiming how great she is. The queens just don't. They're more like the directors behind the scenes. They're very comfortable there. They don't need to be the actors upon the stage like the kings do. The King of Cups is seen. Even in his own quiet, humble way, he is seen. The Queen of Wands is what powers us, what drives us, what has us look at things forcefully and passionately and say, but this is for me. This isn't for everybody else. This isn't for the rest of the world. This is for me. And that becomes beautiful. And so we very much embrace who we are and what we want and what we're looking for passionately. This focuses us on work, but also on the hobbies that make us feel alive, on the things that make us feel alive. They don't have to be hobbies. They can be our family and friends. Just the things that make us feel like we're doing the right thing, like we're moving forward in a brilliant way. It brings us then to the Two of Cups. And I see this as the balance between Libra and Aries, the balance between healing and conquering. And this balance helps us see ourselves more, helps us unite, gain unity, gain peace. And we embrace this unity, this peace, this brilliance. And it has us claiming our throne, embracing our power with the Emperor, saying, this is what I want from life. This is where I'm headed. This catapult, this force. And it's going to surprise us, Pisces. We're going to think, oh my gosh, I can't do it. It's like how we're going to start off this time. It's like, I can't. There's 500,000 different reasons why. They're all really good reasons, okay? I'm overwhelmed. I just can't. And the Emperor is going to start to shift that on us. Is going to say, oh yes, you can. Oh yes, you will. Now look at this. Now focus on this. Now embrace this. Now see this a different way. Because the Emperor is preparing us and guiding us in the battle of life. Because it is a battle. It's hard and it's overwhelming and, it's everything. The Emperor is focusing us and saying, claim the throne, claim the power, because nobody else should get to rule your life but you. It leads us then to the moon, to the very essence of us. This moon is powerful. This moon has us seeing things in a way that we hadn't seen things before. It also very much connects us with beauty and wanting to surround ourselves with beauty, wanting to surround ourselves with just loveliness and being a part of loveliness. The moon opens up our eyes. But it also has this huge connection with who we are, with what we want, with what we desire, with where we need to be. And it's a game-changing moon. It's a time where we feel like a mask has been lifted from our face. And we can see ourselves a lot more clearly, a lot more openly, a lot more honestly. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. We have assessing the path and having to have faith. I like that. A release. Don't let pride get in the way. Meditation. Meditate and contemplate with the new moon in Pisces. It's very important. The essence of ourselves comes up again. Pisces, Pisces, coming forward. It's like, be true to who you are. Conclusions are within reach. Nothing is yet set in stone. A time of healing, which is what this moon is all about. So we're assessing situations. We're looking at bigger pictures. We're seeing things honestly, openly. Yeah, kind of like pulling back the wool from our eyes. And as we assess, we're embracing a new path. We're embracing our path forward. We're looking at things in a new way. We're finding ourselves being brave and saying, okay, well, that ladder doesn't look like the sturdiest thing in the whole entire world, but I need to ascend, and I am ascending. We have to have faith within ourselves, but also within that surrendering connection with the divine. We release all that holds us back, all that poisons our hearts, all that makes us feel like we can't. And as we release, we stop letting pride get in the way. We look at the ego and we say, I see you. And you will sneak up on me all the time, as the ego does. But I can't let pride get in the way of my achievements, of my passion, of my power, of my purpose. Meditate and contemplate. Look at things in a different way. Take quiet time to connect with who we are, with what we want, with our desires and our truths. Conclusions are within reach. We can grasp it. We really can. Nothing is yet set in stone. Plato said, all is flux and nothing stays the same. It has been one of my favorite quotes since I was very little. The world is always changing. It always will be changing. Nothing is ever set in stone. So let ourselves embrace a level of freedom, of self, of desire, of what we want, of where we're headed, at what we're looking for. It's a time for healing. It's a time for letting the monsters out of the closet and making them the bodyguards of our lives. It's time to heal. The subconscious Luna message is surrender. Surrendering to this higher power, surrendering to what our souls want, surrendering to ourselves. It brings us then to believing in the impossible, because it's time. It's time to start believing in the impossible dreams, because they're not impossible anymore. It brings us then to the subconscious chakra message, which is truth, the third chakra. Speak our truth. Know your truth, the individual truth. Look at it, balance it. The water and the fire, the heart and the passion, the love and the determination. Balance it. This moon is all about balance. You have it in the spirit message, you have it in the Libra full moon, we have it now in the chakra message of truth. Balance the scales. It brings us to the subconscious spirit guide message, which is mindful. Be mindful of what is wanted, of what we're going after, of what we desire, of what we need, of who we are, of the words that we say, of the thoughts that we have, of the people that we're surrounding ourselves with. And it brings us then to the Fool. It's time to start a new journey. Remember, every hero's journey is considered a fool's journey first. The Fool sets off, says, I'm going for it, and it's time, because it's time. This moon gives us a beginning that is extraordinary. All right, Pisces, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a rising of our positive energy as we have faith in the path that we are on. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces, and may you have a blessed moon.